But there are compliments that actually land. Compliments that make someone stop and think, wait, he really gets me. The kind that stick with someone long after the conversation ends. The kind that create real attraction because they show you're actually paying attention to who she is, not just what she looks like. And no, I'm not talking about some manipulative pickup artist nonsense. I'm talking about genuine appreciation that comes from actually seeing someone. Because that's what people are really craving. They want to feel understood. They want to feel valued for more than just the surface stuff. So today I'm going to break down 8 compliments that actually work. Not because they're tricks, but because they're rooted in something real. These are the compliments that show you're different from every other person who's just going through the motions. Ready? Let's get into it.
When someone talks about something they genuinely care about, their entire energy shifts. You can see it in their face, hear it in their voice, feel it in how they lean forward or gesture with their hands. Maybe she's talking about her career goals, a book she just read, her favorite band, or even something as simple as her weekend hiking trip. The point is, she lights up. Most people miss this moment entirely. They're too busy thinking about what they're going to say next, or they're checking their phone, or they're just not really listening. But when you actually notice that shift in energy and you call it out, that's when something clicks. Saying, "I love how passionate you get when you talk about this," does a few things at once. First, it proves you were actually listening. Not just hearing words, but paying attention to her. Second, it shows you find her enthusiasm attractive, not annoying or
Too much. Chuckles. A lot of people have been told to tone down their excitement about things, so when someone appreciates it instead, that feels refreshing. This compliment also shifts the focus from surface-level attraction to something deeper. You're not commenting on what she's wearing or how she looks. You're acknowledging her inner world, the things that make her who she is. That creates a different kind of connection. The key is being specific. Thoughtful. Don't just say you're passionate. Tell her what you noticed.
your whole face changed when you started talking about that photography project. Or, "I can tell you really care about your students." That specificity makes it real and personal. This works because people want to feel seen for who they actually are. When you recognize and appreciate someone's genuine interests and the energy they bring to the things they love, you're telling them their authenticity matters to you. That's the kind of compliment that sticks with someone long after the conversation ends. Most compliments women hear are about their appearance, how they look in a dress, their smile, their eyes. And sure, those can be nice, but they get repetitive. When you compliment someone's unique perspective, you're doing something completely different. You're saying their mind is what stands out to you.
The beauty of this compliment is that it works in so many situations. It could be during a deep conversation about life, or it could be something lighter like her take on why a certain song is overrated. The specific topic matters less than the fact that you noticed her way of thinking stands out. What makes this particularly effective is that it separates you from everyone else. While other people might be trying to impress her or just nodding along, you're showing that you value what's happening in her head. You're treating her as an intellectual equal, someone whose ideas you genuinely want to hear. This creates attraction on a different level. Physical attraction fades in and out, but when someone makes you feel smart, heard, and valued for your mind, that builds something real. It shows you're looking for substance, not just surface-level interaction. That's the kind of thing that makes someone want to keep talking to you, keep sharing with you, keep being around you. There are people who walk into a room and everyone just relaxes a little. They have this way of making others feel welcome, like it's okay to be yourself around them. If you notice this quality in someone, pointing it out can be incredibly meaningful because most people don't even realize they have it. This compliment works because it's about her effect on the world around her. You're not just saying she's nice or friendly. You're observing that she creates an emotional atmosphere that makes people feel safe and accepted. That's a skill. It's rare. Curious. Maybe you've watched her talk to someone who seemed nervous and saw how she put them at ease. Maybe you've noticed how people open up to her in ways they don't with others. Maybe it's the way she asks questions that make people feel heard, or how she doesn't judge when someone shares something vulnerable. Whatever it is, when you name it, you're showing her that her kindness has impact.
A lot of people go through life trying to be impressive, trying to stand out, trying to be the most interesting person in the room. But making others feel comfortable? That's a different kind of strength. It requires empathy, emotional awareness, and genuine care for other people's feelings. When you acknowledge this, you're recognizing character traits that go way beyond surface level. This compliment also tends to catch people off guard in the best way. They might brush it off at first because they don't see it as special, but that's exactly why it lands so deeply. You're seeing something about her that she might take for granted, and you're telling her it matters. People remember when someone notices the good they put into the world. This isn't about flattery or trying to say the right thing. It's about genuinely appreciating someone's positive impact on the people
around them. That kind of recognition creates connection because it shows you pay attention to who she is when she's just being herself. Chuckles. There's a difference between a polite laugh and a real one. A real laugh comes from somewhere deeper. It's unfiltered, unself-conscious, sometimes a little messy. When you tell someone you love their genuine laugh, you're acknowledging that you notice when they drop their guard and just react naturally.
Most people are performing to some degree in social situations. They're managing how they come across, being careful about how loud they are, trying to seem put together. A genuine laugh breaks through all of that. It's a moment of pure authenticity, and when you call that out, you're saying you value the real her over any polished version she might present. This compliment matters because it makes someone feel accepted. A lot of people, especially women, have been made to feel self-conscious about their laugh. Too loud? Too snorty? Too much? So when someone says they love it, specifically because it's genuine, that flips the script. You're not asking her to be quieter or more controlled. You're appreciating her exactly as she is. The word genuine is what makes this work. You're not just saying nice laugh in passing. You're being specific about what you noticed. You're telling her that in a world where everything feels filtered and curated, her
authenticity stands out. That's a compliment about character, not just sound. When someone feels like they can laugh freely around you without judgment, that creates comfort and trust. Those are the foundations of real connection. You're showing her that you don't need her to be perfect or polished. You like the moments when she forgets to be anything other than herself.
This is the kind of compliment that makes someone feel seen in a way they might not be used to. It's small but significant because it celebrates realness, and realness is what actually builds relationships that matter.
Most women have been told at some point to be less opinionated, less challenging, more agreeable. So when you frame her intelligence and her willingness to push back as something you actively appreciate, that's powerful. You're not threatened by it. You're attracted to it. The phrase "in the best way" is crucial here. You're making it clear this isn't about conflict or difficulty. It's about intellectual stimulation and personal growth. She makes you sharper, more thoughtful, more aware of your own blind spots. That's not something everyone can do, and recognizing it shows maturity.
This compliment also reveals what you're looking for in a relationship. You're not after someone who just exists alongside you. You want someone who engages with you, who brings something to the table, who makes the relationship dynamic rather than static. That's attractive because it shows you value her as an equal partner. When someone feels appreciated for making you think differently rather than criticized for not being easy, that creates respect. It tells her that her opinions matter, her intelligence is valued, and her strength is seen as an asset. That's the foundation for something real. Actions reveal character in ways that words never can. When you notice the things someone cares about and connect them to who they are as a person, you're giving a compliment that goes straight to their core values. This isn't surface-level observation. This is seeing someone's heart through their choices. Maybe she always checks in on her friends when they're going through
something tough. Maybe she's thoughtful about where she buys her coffee because she cares about supporting local businesses. Maybe she remembers little details about people's lives that most would forget. These aren't random behaviors. They're expressions of what matters to her.
When you point this out, you're doing something most people never do. You're connecting the dots between what she does and who she is. You're saying, I see that your kindness isn't accidental. I see that your attention to detail reflects how much you care. I see that your values actually show up in your daily life. That's deep recognition. People want to be seen for their character, not just their accomplishments or appearance. We all want to believe that the way we move through the world matters, that our choices reflect something meaningful about us. When someone else notices and names that, it validates our entire sense of self. This compliment also shows you're paying attention over time. You can't make this observation from one conversation. It requires watching, listening, and genuinely caring about understanding who she is. That kind of attention is rare and valuable. What makes this particularly powerful is that you're not just saying, yo,
You're a good person. You're being specific about what you've noticed and why it matters. You're showing her that her values don't go unseen, that the effort she puts into being thoughtful or caring or principled is recognized and appreciated. Sincere. That kind of validation touches something real.
This one flips the typical compliment structure completely. Instead of telling her what's great about her, you're sharing how she makes you feel. But here's why that's powerful. You're crediting her with creating a space where you can drop your guard and just be real. Most people spend their days performing some version of themselves. At work, they're professional. With certain friends, they play a specific role. On social media, they're curated. We all do this to some degree. But when you find someone around whom you don't feel like you have to do any of that, that's special. And when you tell them that's what they give you, you're acknowledging something incredible about their energy. This compliment says she doesn't judge. She doesn't make you feel like you need to impress her or have all the answers. She accepts you as you are, flaws and all. That kind of acceptance is rare, and naming it shows you recognize its value. This also signals what you value in connection. You're not looking for surface-level interaction or someone to put on a show with. You want realness, and you're appreciating her for making that possible. When someone knows they bring out your authentic self, they understand their importance in your life. That recognition builds trust and deepens whatever connection you're building together. Look, here's what all of this really comes down to. The compliments that actually create attraction aren't about having the perfect words or the right timing. They're about genuinely seeing someone and letting them know you see them. Women aren't looking for someone who's memorized a script. They're looking for someone who pays attention, who values substance over surface, who appreciates them for more than just what's obvious. That's what separates a forgettable compliment from one that actually stays with someone. The 8 compliments we talked about work because they're rooted in observation and authenticity. They show you're engaged with who she actually is, not just what she looks like or what she can do for you. They demonstrate that you value her mind, her character, her energy, and the way she shows up in the world. But here's the real truth. You can't fake this stuff. If you're not genuinely interested in someone as a whole person, no compliment is going to create real attraction. People can sense when you're going through the motions versus when you actually mean what you're saying. So stop overthinking it. Stop trying to find the magic formula. Instead, actually get to know the person
In front of you. Notice what makes them unique. Pay attention to what they care about. Watch how they treat others. Listen when they talk. And when you genuinely appreciate something about them, just say it, simply and honestly. That's it. That's the whole thing. Real attraction builds when 2 people feel safe being themselves with each other. When you give compliments that make someone feel truly seen and valued, you're creating that safety, and that's what actually matters.
Be authentic. Be observant. Be respectful. Everything else will follow.